Blessings and greetings and blessings, blessed souls. We're live because we're meriting to stay alive in this most existential of moments. Intent of being configured, Torah Chaim, instructions of life, Torah Chesed, instructions of kindness, Torah Rachamim. Purposely, I'm blocking the video aspect of it because it's basically the content I want to share with you now, which I think is of primal importance. This humble effort today is dedicated for those who need direct, immediate healing. There's so many people around the world who are being affected by this pandemic and the demoralizing effect is having on their families and friends and neighbors and greater community. So we're going to read the words of Psalms 67, which has a universal redemptive quality to it, integrating with it my cutting and pasting from classical Israelite oral Torah sages in order to give it more texture and hopefully to encourage any one of us that we should not shy from saying not just this psalm, but any psalm, because all of the psalms, which are composed by 10 different individuals, all with Ruach HaKodesh, divine inspiration, were meant for the betterment of humankind. And even the third Chabad Rebbe, the Tzemach Tzedek, Rebbe Menachem Mendel Schneerson, lived from 1789 to 1866, and advised us that if we knew the true potency of Tehillim, of Psalms, we do nothing but say it the whole day. So here we go. Chapter 67, verse 1. For the conductor upon Neginos, a song with musical accompaniment. The Al-Shich, one of our classic commentators, stressed this psalm has a universal message. There are 4 musical instructions in this introductory verse, which correspond to the 4 realms which apply to life here on the planet. Those 4 realms being mineral, vegetable, animal, and human, which constitute the world upon which we live upon. However, the realm of mineral, vegetable, animal, and human did not really become truly actualized until the divine instruction was given at Mount Sinai. Verse 2, may God favor us and bless us. May he display his luminous countenance with us, Salah. The Saporno, another one of the great commentators, elucidates, it is a request from Creator to favor us, though we are undeserving, bless us with fertility from the terrible persecutions of the exile condition which have decimated our ranks. Rav Refuah Shimshon Hirsch, where the statement is made to favor us, expression of grace, may we be graced, is that we be graced with intellectual abilities, and that we should be favored with wisdom, even during these harsh times that we live in, where so many basic needs, unfortunately, still not being met. Intellectual advancement has always remained the prime concern of the nation of Israel. Concerning the part of the verse, may he display his luminous countenance with him, the Radak says, elucidates out, may he grant success in all of our endeavors. Again, we'll turn to, may illuminate our minds so that we perceive the wondrous lessons of the Torah. May we forever be a reflection of divine intellect, and thus display our truly unique image, our image of God, our Tzelem Elokim, which makes a human being capable of knowing the Creator's will, endowing his or her physical existence with divine holiness. Verse 3, to make known your way on earth among all the peoples, your salvation. Russian Saporno comment, we are asking for intellectual enlightenment so that you may be equipped to spread your teachings throughout the world. We yearn to guide mankind towards an appreciation of your way, which refers to your beneficence. As we see in a contemporary level right now, the human family experience is baffled by the seemingly chaotic development of human affairs. We all know that's what's going on right now. However, we ask if you will shine your countenance upon your nation Israel. This will demonstrate to all human beings that you do, in fact, guide world events upon a well defined path towards a clear cut goal. And the human family experience will realize your way in all affairs of the earth, including this current crisis that we're in. Baal Shem Shahar further elucidates that the Creator's way is a dual concept, for it includes both the manner in which Creator guides world's events and the pattern of contact which Creator has directed human beings to follow. Ultimately, the human family experience will recognize that human history is guided towards divinely designed paths, towards the fulfillment of divinely ordained goals. This will fulfill the prophecy. Earth will be full of the knowledge of the Creator as the waters cover the sea. That's plucking from the prophecy of the Novia Geula, Isaiah, in chapter 11, verse 9. However, let us not think that the Creator is just Israel-centric. The Creator, according to the Shari Chaim, brings out, is concerned with the welfare and salvation of all the peoples. One purpose of the exile of Israel and dispersion was to expose all the nations to the Torah's teachings so they may have an opportunity to accept the truth and be saved. Verse 4, the nations will acknowledge you, O God, the nations will acknowledge you, all of them. Gradually, the teachings of the Torah will spread the divine teachings amongst the nations until every nation will acknowledge Creator and pay Creator homage. Ultimately, Hirsch advocates the message of the Creator will penetrate every corner of the world and all nations will worship Him. Verse 5, nations will be glad and sing for joy because you will judge the nations with fairness, and the nations of earth you will guide Salah. Salah is an expression of eternity. Now there's a type of state which governs a people and represents to the outside world, a particular striving of that people. However, unfortunately, as long as nations are selfish and inquisitive, their outside stance, their nationalistic posture will reflect selfishness. Ultimately, all national governments will discard their present policy of self-isolation and recognize that the welfare of all human beings depends on the establishment of a harmonious community of non-aggressive nations joyously united in the worship of the Creator. And there's another type of nation or community which separates itself from other nations. International dissension and animosity are inevitable as long as each nation seeks out only its own welfare. Because you will judge the nations with fairness, each nation, national community considers itself superior and refuses to treat Israel as an equal. Therefore, measure for measure, they will be judged to see if they could stand up to the standards in which they want to cast down Israel and put themselves above us. At the same time, too, we are supposed to be the most humble people on the face of the earth, following the example of the mighty Levite prophet Moses, who was the most humble man who ever lived. Our humility is not our weakness. Our humility is the acceptance of the blessings. And when the part of the verse, in the nations on earth you will guide Salah, means towards the creation of a stable world balance of power. Those who would seek to create an international order whose benefits would exceed the advantages experienced by the self-seeking, uncooperative national communities. Although their motives are to further their own ends rather than to serve the Creator, they nevertheless move in the direction of establishing a moral, ethical order. For that, they deserve to be rewarded. Those states will receive the reward when the Creator openly guides human affairs to the establishment of eternal and eternal human brotherhood, which recognizes no borders or nationalities. The nations, verse 6, will acknowledge you, O God. The nations will acknowledge you, all of them. Eventually, when all nations will be giving thanks before you, you will be judging them with fairness and restore the harmony of the social order. As we see now, the social order has become quite distorted because of the pandemic. which brings out that from a certain perspective, there will be those who will be initially incapable of recognizing the Creator's majesty and the Creator's design for the creation as their design for their own living. Only under the guidance and influence of their intelligent leaders will they develop sufficient insight to offer thanks to the Creator and to serve Creator. Later, when the recognition of Creator's sovereignty spreads worldwide, all human beings will submit to the Creator and render homage to the Creator without intermediary. Then the newly enlightened nations, the general populace, will acknowledge the Creator on their own accord without requiring their leader's example and instructions. Verse 7, the earth has yielded its produce. May God, our own God, bless us. This political renaissance of the future will be accompanied by an agricultural rebirth, where the world's spiritual development will pervade the earth and affect the soil. Radak mentions that prior to the redemption, wrongdoings will pollute the atmosphere and disturb the balance of the water cycle. In the future, however, the earth will yield its bounty effortlessly without any human cultivation of labor. Moreover, it will produce a finished product, not the raw, unprocessed crop. In fact, the sages say from the Tractate of Kasubo that the tree is destined to grow baked loaves of the finest flour. In the final verse, may God bless us and may all the ends of the earth fear him. After the redemption, the nation of Israel will spread throughout the earth as the Creator promised to patriarch Jacob in Genesis 28:14, and your seed will be like the dust of the earth and shall spread abroad to the west and east and north and to the south. And may all the ends of the earth fear him, which is the last statement in verse 8 of chapter 67 of Psalms, when the nations, even the most remote civilizations, were isolated at the ends of the earth, according to Ibn Israel, are destined to recognize the glory of the Creator. Therefore, there will be a partnership amongst all the blessed children of Noah, nation of Israel, in rendering homage unto the Creator. So that was a unrehearsed presentation, but it's something that I hope will spread around the world like a wildfire of hope around all peoples. We are all now afflicted, and yet we don't have to feel that we're constricted and separated, but rather this pandemic is ultimately, hopefully, going to bring us to the level of Ahava Chad, one love, Gorla Chad, one destiny, of all of us, a pleasant, peaceful way. I have to remind any one of you, I've got to be good, you've got to be good, we've all got to be good, because Atevatov Lehetiv is the nature of the good to do good, and the Creator waits so ever so patiently for all of us to activate that goodness, that good thought, that positive speech, that positive action. And in that fashion, we should see many blessings manifesting and healings for all 7.7 billion plus human beings who should not be disappointed to know that they've been anointed with a Tzelem Elokim, divine image, which is no dream. This is anti-eugenics Torah. Take care, everyone. Be safe. Pray for the benefit and the healing of every human being on this face of this blessed earth.